I wanted to grab his stars, shove it down his throat, and say, "It's 400 miles from China."
Was there anyone in that conversation who, in your observation, had too much to drink?
Rudy Giuliani.
A lot of people say you drink too much.
Oh, geez, Doc.
Well, I got to say it so you can say what you want to say about it.
Look. I'm not upset with you for asking.
I know. But I don't say it, and you can't respond to it.
The only thing I can tell you is I'm not an alcoholic. I don't even drink anymore. I don't know if that's because they accuse me of being an alcoholic. I don't want anybody to see me with even one drink. But even when I drank reasonable amount, I can remember on these fingers of my hands the times I've been drunk in my life, and they were all when I was teenagers, and nobody ever got heard from them. I used to have, I don't test it anymore, an enormous capacity for scotch. So I would do contests with you. This is why they may think I'm an alcoholic. I used to do contests with you where you would drink beer and I would drink scotch, and I'd be sober and you'd be drunk. Now, this is 35 years ago.
And who decided that?
Me. But no, I was never a drunk. I'll give you a good example. The one that makes the big deal about this is a book about the night of the 2020 election. So I was there. I was Donald Trump's lawyer at the time, his number one lawyer, outside lawyer. So I set up a place in the White House for myself and Newt Gingrich and a group of other people. And we stayed there all night. I talked to him one or two times because I knew I would eventually have to give him advice. And I eventually advised him to claim victory, which is why they all hate me for doing that. And not just me, but 4 or 5 others. Newt, others did. And believe it or not, one of my most loyal guys, who used to be the press secretary for my campaign for mayor, and I got him the job in the White House, said I was drunk that night. And that was put in a book. And so I got a lot of questions about it. Here's the weird thing about that. First of all, I wasn't. Number two, when it came out, my friend Paul, my friend who lives here in Dallas, we should have brought him here. My friend who lives here in Dallas, it's just the weirdest thing. Roy Bailey calls me up and says, "Mayor, you couldn't have been drunk that night." I said, "Well, how do you know I couldn't have been? I mean, there I was at the White House. Maybe I had 2 or 3 drinks and he smelled something or something." He said, "Don't you remember that night, what you did?" I said, "No." He said, "You said you're not going to have a drink because you have to make a very important decision tonight. So you just had Diet Coke." And we went ahead and took a picture of you with 4 Diet Cokes in front of you. I think I can still get that picture. And we got 5 witnesses. The only other thing I often thought about it was to say, given all the things that I achieved, it must be a hell of a, tough alcoholic. Wow.
We call that high functioning.
High functioning. Yeah. So can I get the Guinness record for high functioning alcoholic? I am not an alcoholic, and you're going to find something really funny. I've been fired from 2 jobs in my life. One job was by WABC because I refused not to talk about the 2020 elections. And I told them I thought that was the worst kind of censorship, because the 2020 elections, if you can't talk about them, is going to lead to more of a possibility that the 2024 elections are fixed. If you can talk about them and you can bring out the truth, it acts as a deterrent to doing the same thing again, because it convinces them maybe you're looking at it. Maybe you're looking at the Zuckerberg boxes that was stuffed with phony ballots. Maybe you're looking at the people who don't live there anymore, whose ballots were used. Psychology plays a lot to do with the criminal law, and deterrence is a major, legitimate reason for imposing criminal penalties. So I got annoyed about that. And I said, and finally, this was on a day where I had gotten a piece of evidence that Georgia could now not find 340,000 pieces of ballot paper. Well, that could very well be the ballot paper that was the phony ballot paper. My little suspicious Brooklyn mind got me to think, well, if they're going to lose paper, they might as well lose the paper that's going to put them in jail, right?
What's the other job you got fired from?
Bartender.
Bartender?
By my father. Because I can't stand drunks. Oh. I get into fights with them. When I was a kid, if you were drunk and you'd come in, my father divided drunks into 3 types. The happy drunk comes in. Oh, it's great to be here. Best bar in town. Give me 3, buy for everybody. Da-da-da-da. Ah, let's have fun. Gets a little stupid after a while. You have to escort him out. Second one is what he called the maudlin drunk. My wife hates me. My kids don't talk to me. Give me another drink.
You really did want to be an actor, didn't
My
you?
mother-in-law can't stand me. My boss hates me. This guy, you want to get him out of here. Then the third guy comes in. My father, this was the old days. My father called this guy, he thought he was Joe Louis. You look at me? Hey, you looking at me? What's your problem, Ted? I've been here before. I've had problems with you before, haven't I? You too. Give me 3 more drinks. Then he gets himself to the point where he has guts and he gets into a fight. So these guys, I would throw them out, just throw them right out. My father said there's a much better way to handle it. The guy says, hey, what are you looking at? Triple his drink. He said, we can afford it. Take the little glass and go, let him get drunk faster. Because by the time he's finished and he takes the first swing, he'll go like this. Much easier. Nobody gets hit. He's going like this. I'm going to take you out. I'm going to take you out. You grab him, put him in a garbage can, and roll him down the street. I said, Dad, we can't do that. We have to work with them. We have to try to rehabilitate them. He said, go get another job. You're going to be a lawyer anyway. Yeah, but I need the money. That's okay. You can make it somewhere else. This is not the job for you. You're going to get in trouble. Because I would start fighting. My father was a boxer. He taught me to be a boxer. So I wasn't afraid of them, and he was afraid that I was going to shoot. This is to show you that this is the kind of family I came from. Very mixed, by the way. But my hero was my father's youngest brother named Rudy Giuliani. New York City police officer, 27 years, Navy hero in the Second World War, blasted out of his aircraft carrier twice, 2 medals, taught me how to swim, finished teaching me how to box, and taught me how to be a man. And I was his boss for a while when I was mayor, because he belonged to the police department.